Often I run into people that don't have any real high quality relationships in their life. They have plenty of people in their life, but they're not adding any real value to their life. Partially it's because people think they just don't have the time. Other times, they don't really know how to create quality relationships. But the majority of the time, people just don't want to have to put work into a relationship. And let's be honest, all quality relationships are work. But that should be no surprise because everything good in our lives requires work to maintain. Our homes, our cars, the jobs that pay for our homes and our cars, even your pets, it all requires work. So if you want to keep good people in healthy relationships with those who are a part of our lives, we have to put in work to keep them in good condition. Hi, I'm Ruth Finney and welcome to You Can Talk. This is a channel solely dedicated to helping you talk your way to healthier relationships. Whether you're married or dating, or if you're struggling to communicate with family or friends or people you work with, then this is the channel that will help you experience some real change. If you're willing to put some simple principles into practice, meet me here on Thursdays. Become a part of this talk community by subscribing to You Can Talk and walk with me through the user's manual as we discover some revelations in communication that you can incorporate into your life so that you can talk your way to healthier relationships. I've been very blessed to have had numerous long-lasting relationships in my life. My husband, I've known for 25 years, literally since we were 19. And 3 of my very best friends have been in my life for over 35 years, since I was in grade school. However, throughout every season of my life, I've also picked up some phenomenal friends and mentors and associates along the way. These are people who have somehow touched me in a way that added value to my life. Whether they were in some way a blessing to me or the relationship allowed me the opportunity to be a blessing to them. I don't take these relationships for granted because when people add value to our lives, they are worth putting in the work required to stay in good relationships with. So here's the truth up front. The level of work you're willing to put into a relationship has a direct impact on its growth potential, its health and appeal, its quality and longevity. So today I want to share with you the types of work that I put in to maintain healthy and lasting relationships and how I balance them all. So the first thing I do when entering into a relationship with anyone is determine whether or not the relationship even has growth potential. This is where I look at the person and see where I can give value or receive value from this person. Meaning maybe I can see where who I am as an individual can be of use to them. This can be through sharing my personal life experiences, my gift of teaching, my willingness to listen, my outlook on life, or just through being present, giving love and showing compassion and concern for their well-being and the things that matter to them in their lives. On the flip side, maybe I can look at them and see where who they are can be of value to me by what they're willing to share, their gifts, their talents, their life experiences, or their love and laughter and genuine concern for the things that matter to me in my life. When I see this type of potential with a person, I'm ready to plant a seed. Pour a little time and energy into it, nurture it, and wait for it to bloom into something beautiful. If I don't see any potential for any of that, we exchange pleasantries and I keep it moving. Don't waste time pouring into relationships that don't nourish value in its growth. The second thing that I do is determine its quality of health. This is where I determine whether or not the relationship is enhancing me as a person or hindering me. Typically, if it's enhancing me, it's challenging me to be better mentally, physically, emotionally, or spiritually. If the relationship is hindering me, it's usually shrinking my confidence or creating confusion or causing disruption or anger or bitterness in my thought processes. It may also be causing me to compromise on my values or act outside of my true self, stunting my growth or hindering my walk with my Heavenly Father. If any of these are present, I know I need to move on quick, because the longer I stay in it, the deeper I fall, the longer I'm trapped, and the harder it is to get out of. And even if I do manage to get out of it, it's typically not without scars that I then have to nurse back to health. So recognize when you have these types of relationships in your life and get out quick, even if you have to have someone to help you. Our sanity, mental peace, and spiritual purpose is worth the effort. The third thing I look for is appeal. We can all admit that when we see high quality relationships, whether it's between a husband and a wife, a boyfriend and a girlfriend, a parent and a child, a supervisor and employee, or just seeing good friends hanging out, talking and laughing and doing nice things for each other, we tend to look at those relationships in awe. We'll say, "Oh, that's so cute," or "You all look so happy. I wish I had a relationship like that with my mom or my dad or my boss or a good friend of mine." High quality relationships are like watching your favorite sporting event live and in color. Whether it's our intention or not, the reality is we take spectators along our relationship journeys with us. They're watching the triumphs along with the defeats. They're watching how we handle incoming attacks. They want to see those in-your-face blocks when we shut down the things that try to overcome us. And they're rooting for us in some way, shape, or form. Why? Because it gives them hope and faith in the belief that good, healthy, and long-lasting relationships are possible in a world where it seems like nothing lasts beyond the swipe of a screen. That's why when we hear of couples or friends or individuals working together for years, we're so amazed, because we know they've overcome some challenges and put in some work. Healthy relationships are not just a blessing to us, but to all those in the peripheral of our lives. So we must pay attention to our relationship appeal. Be the team that everyone is excited to see when you're around, just because they know they're going to see something good. In our relationship playbook, Matthew chapter 5, verses 14 and 16 says, "You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden. Nor do people light a lamp and put it under a basket, but on a stand, and it gives light to all in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, so that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father who is in heaven." The fourth thing I work on is making sure my relationships are high quality. This is where the real work comes in. We can all appreciate a high quality tailor-made suit and shoes, a handcrafted beautiful leather purse, or even a delicious meal where we can just taste the goodness and the love that was put into it. We can appreciate these things because we know some work was put into it to make it just that good. So if we want our relationships to be just that good, we have to be willing to put in some work. So where do we begin with that? We can start by focusing our full attention on them and being fully present when they're around, not being on our phones or being distracted with other things. We can focus on doing some listening and not just doing all the talking. We can ask meaningful questions about their well-being and about the well-being of their family and their parents or their kids, or how things are going with their job. People are in desperate need right now of finding people who care. We can tell them things that they do that inspires us and ask for advice in those areas. Or we can simply show appreciation for the ways that they've been a blessing to us in our lives and offer ways in which we can be a blessing to them. Other times, all that's required is showing up for those things that matter. We can't always make every event, but try to make something every once in a while. A party, a celebration, a funeral, a visit to a nursing home or hospital, or maybe just a private lunch or a morning coffee session. It doesn't take much to find some time to pour into someone's life. A quick phone call, a text message, or even a card in the mail, just letting them know that we're thinking about them can be phenomenal ways of showing a person that we care. The things we choose to do don't always have to be over the top. Most often, really, it's the smallest, simplest things that we think don't mean anything that make the most impact because of the intentional thought behind it. One of the quickest and easiest things I do to keep me in a quality mind state is making sure that I try to leave people in a better condition than how I found them. That may mean shifting their mind state, offering some form of help or service or even prayer if they need it. Or I may choose to simply encourage them or uplift them or in some way try to make them laugh or leave a smile on their face. Whatever level I choose to add quality, I just make sure it doesn't drain me or make me feel bitter or unappreciated in some way. But I'm the one that has to be the monitor of that in order to keep balance in my life. That means when I start feeling drained, I limit my interactions with others. I go and do the things that refuel me and reconnect when I'm full again. I don't know anyone who functions well running around on empty. In fact, when we're interacting with others on E, it typically only makes matters worse. So disconnect, get refueled, and get back out there. Finally, I work to nurture relationships that build longevity. Have you ever had a friend or a family member that you hadn't spoken to in years and suddenly they appear in your life and you have a conversation that makes you feel like you just talked yesterday? That's when you know the relationship is in the longevity phase. You don't have to talk every day or see each other once a month, but years can go by, and yet when you speak, the same laughter and care and concern and love refills your spirit as though time had never passed. When we stop looking at relationships for only what they have to offer and look for growth potential for us and the other person, we'll see our relationships in a new light. Quality relationships improve our overall health and appeal not only to the people involved, but to those surrounding us. Maya Angelou has been credited for this quote time and time again because it truly is the secret sauce to a lasting relationship. I've learned that people will forget what you've said. People will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. When we spend time with people, take time to listen, reach out, serve or assist, show up, love on them, encourage and uplift others, not only will our relationships improve, but we're creating bonds that will last a lifetime. If you can relate to any or all of these communication struggles and are tired of the seemingly endless cycle of communication barriers that are keeping you from the relationships that you desire to have with others, then become a talker. Subscribe to You Can Talk. Select that notification bell down below and meet me here on Thursdays for the next episode where we'll be discussing more ways that we can talk our way through these trying times. Leave a comment below and let me know what will be your tip of the week or talk-inspired practice that you're willing to commit to working on. Whatever it is, I'm rooting for you and praying for you because you can tame the tongue, approach with compassion, listen deeply, knock down the barriers, and talk your way to healthier relationships. Let your communication be the light of God's love the world so desperately needs to hear. Thanks for watching, and if you would, please like and share this video, and I will see you here next Thursday.